We're back live again, and right now to discuss about something very, very important. Yeah, if you're joining me for the first time, my name is Richard Wanji. I'm a sport journalist based in Nigeria, and of course, always following up those big stories that are happening. And something very interesting is, on our site right now, which we'll take our time today to analyze those that big issue. Talk about what really happened yesterday in the Champions League, and that has gotten many, many people talking. And of course, got many people talking. We have to dive into it, analyze it, and follow up exactly what really happened, what really played out yesterday between Real Madrid and Benfica. Some will say Benfica and Real Madrid. What happened in that particular Champions League game? And that's what we'll be talking about today. We'll analyze that issue, which many people frown at, which is called the racial abuse, where the man, Prestianni, is being accused of racially abusing Vinicius Junior. Now, we'll talk about it from different angles today on the live. We'll analyze it from a different angles where it happened and see if we can come out with a conclusion. Did he really abuse this particular player racially? Did like the normal discriminating manner? Did he use some wrong words? Because that is there are some particular words the man Vinicius Junior came up with that he said, and we'll analyze this from different parties who were involved in the whole no drama yesterday. And don't forget to drop your comments. Tell me what you think about what happened between Prestiani, um, um, Prestiani Gross and Vinicius Junior. What really happened? What do you think played out? So one lies from different angles, as I said earlier. I won't just pick from one part, and let's see if we can be able to get the full, what really happened yesterday. Now let's start basically and follow up from what happened in the game. Now it's looked like it's looked yesterday. It looked like the man Vinicius Junior, was of course did so well in the game against Benfica, scored the only goal in the game, had his whole dance and everything. But the issue came up when Vinicius Junior was very, very close to the man they call Prestiani, and it looked like this particular player said something inside his jersey, of course, taking his jersey inside and whispered something. And that got many people talking, like, what did this particular guy whisper? Now, the immediate reaction of Vinicius Junior is what got many people talking. Vinicius Junior ran straight to the referee, ran to his other players to explain and say, this particular player just abused me racially. Right. So, of course, use discriminative words which are wrong, which with discriminative words which is against the game, which is called racism, which the game totally speaks against racism, and this particular player just rushed and he rushed and went to meet his fellow players, trying to explain basically what happened. Now, talking about what really, really happened, we knew that they had to pause the game because definitely something went wrong. Now the question was what really went wrong was what Vinicius Junior was trying to explain. And Vinicius Junior obviously explaining that this guy just used some words which can be classified as a racist word to him. Now, as I said earlier, we'll take from different angles and let's see if we can be able to have a balance this particular topic. Of course, if you're joining me live, you could always tell me what you think about what played out yesterday. What do you really think? Do you think Vinicius Junior was oversensitive? Do you think the man Prestiani really did what he said, accused him of doing? You'll tell me what's your thought around that, particular incidents that happened in the Champions League yesterday, which is what we're going to definitely analyze in this particular video. Don't forget, I said we'll speak from different angles to have a balance. So let's see how we can be able to balance this up and make sure that we know we're getting it from the right angle. All right, let's see how we can start balance this up, and let's pull it up from different angles and different patterns. Let's start with the man who was in action, which is Vinicius Junior. Was he really, really, actually abused yesterday? Now, this is what he said. According to him, he said this particular guy, they call Prestianni said several times, made a statement several times where he said his, will I say, use the word monkey. According to what he said he used the word monkey 5 times. He called him a monkey 5 times. Now, the particular video, which of course is everywhere, many of us saw the video. Many of us saw what happened in the video, where Peshani had to take his what do you call it, his shirt, take his mouth into his shirt to say something, and that's why I say we'll speak from different angles to analyze what exactly really happened. Did he really racial abuse? So he said he called him monkey 5 times. After the game, he told other players were very angry. Why would he make such a statement as a Benfica player? Vinicius Junior ran to meet the man they call his coach Mourinho, basically explained to Mourinho, oh, this is what this particular player said, and Mourinho was definitely a player. Mourinho, as a coach who has been with several, what do we call it, black players, was furious at that moment. Now after the game, we had several, what would we call it, players speak around it. Mbappe sit around the fact that Prestiani should not play football again. He should be banned forever. He should not be in the Champions League. Even Mbappe had to go and meet the Benfica player to meet him and tell him, okay, why did you say what you said? And the coach, of course, of Real Madrid, same thing, was angry. So every single player at Real Madrid spoke around the fact that they spoke against the alleged racist action of the Benfica player. Now let's look at Mourinho. Mourinho, the coach of Benfica, spoke around the fact that he cannot be able to say what really happened because the two parties involved gave him two different accounts. And if they gave him two different accounts, definitely he cannot come out and say this is what exactly happened. So he will definitely stick with the account he's aware of, which is the two accounts, and he cannot pick a side. According to Vinicius, gave him a different side. Vinicius said he was racially abused, and he called him a monkey 5 times. While the other man in Benfica said he did not say so. Now, these are the different accounts we've gotten from this player. Now let's look at it from different side. Okay, John Cole, who was the former Chelsea player, who was a guest in a particular studio yesterday, spoke around the fact that once a player whispers inside his jersey, the player is saying something very furious. So no matter how we want to look at it, he believed that was very wrong, and that means the Benfica player said something wrong. These are the whole narratives around it. Now, Benfica as a club have released a statement saying that, and a video saying that there was no how Vinicius Junior will be able to hear what the man they call and Prestiani said because they were far from each other. According to him, there's no how he whispered inside his chest. How come he was able to hear what he said with the whole noise around the whole stadium and everything? So these are different angles and different talking points from the coach to the players. And the question will be, was this particular player racially abused, or is one of those things that people accuse black players of, that once black players just get any statement in the field to get appeal from the general public, they start claiming that, oh, it's a racist statement or something. Did the racist statements really come true? Now, I think we at the other end here cannot really be able to judge because, as Moreno said, they have different angles to it. So they were different angles. Different people came up with their own different part of it. So if everybody had their own different angle, it would be very unfair to now come up with your own judgment. Now, what I would agree is that Prestini said something wrong. That is the fact. Now, the fact he whispered inside his jersey was the fact that he said something wrong. Now, the question is, what did he say? That's the question. What exactly did he say? We cannot say, oh, he said something right, because if he was something right, he would have not needed to whisper inside his jersey. I think I'll do a video on this, and it'll be on the full form video, the way I would basically analyze this with the video, so you could see the videos and understand, what's really happened. So if definitely he said something right, he would not whisper inside his jersey. That's the first part. However, we cannot stand and conclude and say he did not, or he said something right or wrong. As I said, he said something wrong, but the point is whether he made a statement that can be picked as a racist statement, which we cannot conclude because we were not in the field yesterday. So I think that would be a point only him and Vinicius Junior could be able to bear. But I think beyond everything, the wrong part was the fact that the Benfica player whispered inside his jersey, into his jersey, definitely made whatever he said wrong. I think he should be punished for that. We should not allow it just to just to go that way and just feel that Vinicius was being very very sensitive or being very dramatic. If Vinicius Junior felt he was abused, first of all, investigation should be done, and if really he was really really abused, the player involved, the Benfica player involved, should be punished. I think the player should not go, stock free, scot free. If he said what he said, why should we allow him go scot free? He should be punished for that particular statement. But I said we cannot say what he said. But what I can tell you, and I will stick with John Cole, is the fact that this particular player said something that was wrong. If he said something that was right, there was no need of him trying to hide whatever he said inside his speak inside his shirts. He would have definitely just spoken confidently. And this takes us to the broader part of whether black players are treated well. Some people from the Nigerian side will speak around the fact that a particular player in Nigeria was, felt that racism part some few days ago when Gift Orban got the red card for just protesting, and some persons still believe that black players are not treated well. And many people believe that in every little opportunity, black players are being mocked, called different names, monkeys, just a way just to make it shut them up and everything. And Vinicius Junior is one of that players that I can say categorically, even in Spain, he has gone through, those racism and everything. So he understands what racism is all about. I think beyond everything, we should still, and there should still be real deep investigations around exactly what really happened yesterday. Racism should not be allowed in the game. Racism should not be accepted again in a game at all. Investigation should be done, and definitely the right punishment should be given. Of course, my name is Richard Nwaje. If you watch this video later, don't forget to comment, get a like button, share, and of course, get your subscription if you hit to subscribe so you won't miss anything around that. So that's my own take on that. I think basically something wrong was said, but whether it was a word of towards racism, that I cannot say right now. All right, I'll see you later. We'll have another live section where we'll talk about something very, very interesting in the other live section. Something very interesting. We'll post something very interesting in some few minutes time. So if you just join me, don't worry. We have some other live segments today. Today we'll do several live segments, not just picking a particular topic, we're picking on several topics that that are really boiling right now in the minds of a lot of people. And we just spoke about what happened yesterday in the Benfica Real Madrid game. Real Madrid won the game by 1 goal, but not the 1 goal is the talking point, but the fact that a particular player, Vinicius Junior, felt he was abused racially. Of course, racism and played out in the game yesterday. So what do you think about that? I'll see you later. My name is Richard Waji.